Well, we have another episode of Unscripted here on the road. We're at TCO Stadium with Aurora head coach Jen Larrick. Jen, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me today. Glad to be here.
It's a beautiful rainy day. Your women are out there running around and practicing.
It's one of my favorite things about soccer. You play in all weather, but yeah, excuse me if I'm shivering a little bit today.
Yeah, you came in here drowned,
Yeah.
We appreciate you coming out.
Yeah.
You guys have had a great preseason so far too, coming off a huge victory. And many people are saying that you were so proud of those. And I love it when coaches are proud of the preseason victories. What have you learned about your team?
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, preseason was just about coming together, building an identity as a group, building an identity as a team. And yeah, I think what I've learned is this is a group, as we've always had at Aurora, that's committed, and they are like tenacious. They want to win. And so I think we've been able to come together and build a really strong foundation to keep going from.
I know it's your first year as head coach, but you know this team well.
Yeah.
2 years as an assistant when they were first building this up. How was it for you when you decided to come back and be the person to lead this team?
Yeah, I feel so grateful to have been a part of Aurora from the beginning. Even before there was a soccer team, I was at the first ever parking lot meeting, and I think maybe I've mentioned that to you before. And the founders are just folks in this incredible soccer community that we have here in the Twin Cities that I've known before. And the coaching staff was really collaborative from the beginning. Nicole, Jenny, Cassie, and I worked really hard in those first 2 years to build something special. And I feel so grateful for kind of the leadership that Nicole had from the beginning. And it was a no-brainer for me to come back and be a part of it again.
Yeah, former Gopher, so you have a love for this. I know you started in Florida.
Yeah.
But what is it about Minnesota that you get here and you're like, oh, I'm a Gopher for life, even though I just got here, and then just to want to build something here in Minnesota soccer-wise?
Yeah, it's funny that you say that. I love the Twin Cities. I love this state. I've lived all over the world now, and yesterday, my off day, like all I wanted was Parkway Pizza, right? Like I've got my little favorite restaurants and shops, and I love Lake Street and Franklin Ave, and this community is just really special to me, and I think, being back is incredible, and to be able to represent this state means a lot.
You mentioned Nicole. What I loved about her when she was the very first head coach, she was mad at a tie.
Yeah.
At the very beginning, like putting this team on the map, like, no, we should have played better. And just to set the tone that you have to give your best every single day. It would be like when my mom would be like, it's great that you got an A, but your effort, the teacher said, wasn't that great. Like, I don't want to settle for a tie. I want victories. And that set the bar early. What was it like to be part of that?
Well, I know the exact tie you're talking about. That was our very first ever game here against Green Bay. And we were winning 1-0 and gave up a goal in the last probably 2 minutes. And so it felt like a loss. It felt like a letdown. We were the better team all game, and you're absolutely right. Nicole set the standard from the beginning. This team is about performing, it's about winning, it's about being the best we can be every single time we step on the field. And that's true whether it's training or a match. We want to be the best we can be. And even beyond that, you look at the standard Emma Hayes is setting with the national team right now. She had a recent quote that she doesn't care if we win. If we didn't play well, she wants us to get better. Like, you can get better after a win too. And so I think for us, it's about, staying hungry every single day.
What I love about the players is their respect for you. Not only what you've done, but what you continue to do, because you still play.
Yeah.
When I had you on my podcast, you were doing it from New Zealand.
Yeah.
You were still playing soccer. You've also played in the UK.
Yeah.
It brings kind of this gravitas to the role. Do you find that you get that added respect because you're still playing and what you have done in the past?
Yeah. I don't know. I want to earn the players' respect for sure, and I think they respect the body of work that I did in the past here at Aurora, and I think and I hope they can see that I'm like a hungry learner. Like I still play, I study coaching because I want to be the best I can be. I love playing, but I also play still so that I can keep growing as a coach. And I think having that lived experience of being on the field makes you a better coach. It's one thing to stand on the sidelines and say, don't give that ball away, what are you doing? And it's another thing if, a month ago, that was me on the field, sometimes giving a ball away. And soccer is really hard, and I think as a coach it's important to remember, like, mistakes happen. Every single player in the field is going to make a mistake at some point in the game. Like, how do you react to a mistake? How do we as a collective react to a mistake? And just really orienting around, like, collective learning and a striving to be better, but not freaking out at every little mistake. I think continuing to play really gives me that.
And I think you're very humble about saying you studied coaching. You really have. Like, you've gone to school. People don't think that. Like, oh, how did you become a coach? Like, you are taking courses to become a better coach. Can you explain those?
Yeah, I'm working on a doctorate in sport coaching. When I was an undergraduate here at the University of Minnesota, I took psychology of coaching with Dr. Nicole Lavoie, the head of the Tucker Center, the first and maybe only, still, I don't know. It'd be great if there's another one, but certainly the first research center that focuses solely on girls and women in sport. An incredible resource here in Minnesota. So grateful for the Tucker Center. And while I was in Dr. Lavoie's psychology of coaching class, we read some work by Dr. Robin Jones. And he is out of Wales. He's an academic, a sport coaching academic. Writes about coaching from a sort of a sociological perspective. And he is the one who created the program that I went to in Wales. And he formed this program because a lot of coaching programs look at coaching as sort of a smattering of other disciplines, a little bit of psychology of coaching, a little bit of physiology, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, data analytics, that sort of thing. And the Wales program really says, no, coaching is its own discipline, and we can study coaching itself. So it looks at coaching as a sociocultural pedagogical process. And what it means by that is it's how do you interact with others given a certain cultural context, and how do you teach within that context.
A lot of people ask, how did you get into it? Now, you and I are both Massachusetts natives. I played like town soccer. That's when and then traveling team, and that's how I got into it. Yeah. People think, Massachusetts? I go, it's a huge soccer state.
Yeah.
What made you fall in love with it?
Funny enough, so my dad was a goalkeeper.
Oh,
and actually, like, that's sort of like where my love for coaching began. My dad, for someone of his generation, really rare that he had like a legit soccer coach when he played. Yeah. But his coach in high school played at the Ajax Academy in the Netherlands.
Oh, wow.
So my dad grew up with this really high level coaching out of Ajax. And then my dad became my older brother's coach. Okay. My older brother played. And so when I was tiny, you had no choice. You pick my brother and I up from daycare, and they would go to training, and I'd be on the side of the field with a soccer ball, dribbling around. And then when I, became old enough to play, I hopped on a team as soon as I could. My dad was my coach. For Massachusetts, Westford Youth Soccer, town rec, and then town traveling. It's a little bit of a different system than they have here in Minnesota. But yeah, I grew up in those Westford Youth Soccer environments, and my dad didn't grill me or anything, but on the way home, driving home from away games or something, he would just ask me reflective questions. What did you think of how the other team played today? What did you think of how we played? And so really young age, we were just like sort of in a fun way discussing tactics, discussing the game. And so yeah, I really grew up from that sort of Ajax, total football, Dutch mindset for that reason.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah, and I always wanted to do everything my older brother did.
Of course, of course. Is he your only sibling?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He played soccer, I played soccer. He played basketball, I played basketball. So.
Is he still involved in soccer?
Yeah, he plays for fun.
Okay.
Yeah, he plays soccer and ultimate frisbee, and he cycles a lot. So yeah, he's an active guy, but he's now more for fun, and I think he's deferred to me as the soccer expert now, which is nice.
Well, what I love about Aurora is you not only champion young women, you give them the tools to become better people.
Yeah.
And this whole organization is about, we don't want to hold you down, because a lot of the girls have gone on to play, and now they're women.
Yeah.
They've been just growing and growing and growing, playing professional.
Yeah.
Overseas. Like this can be a pipeline, but it is about success.
Yeah.
And you've been a part of that since the beginning.
Yeah.
what are you most looking forward to with all of that in mind, what it's become in the community and what's become of the women who have moved on?
Yeah. To your point about the women who've moved on, I love staying in touch with the alum. For example, we have Addie and Kennedy playing in the Canadian League now, the Northern Super League. I'm going to try to buy their jerseys. And Maya Hansen's been playing in Iceland. She's going to come back a little bit this summer and come on out to training. So I really enjoy staying in touch. But for me as a coach, the parts that I get the most excited about is just when we see what we worked on in training translate and come out in a game. If we work on something in training and then you see it lead to a goal in a game, you're going to see me like lose my mind on the sidelines. Like that's what's so fun. And I've already told the players, like that's what sets us apart. The players are what sets us apart. The level of commitment they have allows us to work on a project together, allows us to work on an identity, a style. Whereas if this was, we train twice a week and it's optional, you couldn't really do that.
Right.
And so, honing that style and seeing it come out on the field, that's when I'm going to get most excited.
I wish you the best of luck. I'm really looking forward to it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we'll see what happens, but day by day, we're giving our best and we're staying focused on the process. How can we get better today? So we'll see what happens, and I hope to see everybody there on Thursday.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
This is awesome.
Yeah, really good.
For the long-form edition of this interview and other unscripted episodes, check out the Fox Local app. You can find it on all your live streaming devices.